Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a little guest with me and it's my mum. Hey! And we're going to be doing, as it's March, it's Mother's Day in the UK, so we're going to be doing a little Mother's Day video where I'm going to be doing mum's makeup in a very like Victoria Beckham inspired look, and then mum's going to be sort of giving her tips and tricks throughout the video on sort of like skincare and products for sort of like women of the older ages. So this is mum's.
Careful what you say.
This is mum's first time in one of my YouTube videos. So she's very excited. So this is the look we created. If you close your eyes for me, mum. It's sort of very Victoria Beckham, very smudgy, very smoky, glossy, polished. So if you want to see how we got this look, please keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to start with moisturiser on mum's face, and I'm using the Bobbi Brown Protective Face Lotion. This is one of mum's favourite moisturisers, isn't it, mum?
It is, yeah, as I've got redness on the skin and I do suffer with rosacea, so it's really calming because it's got chamomile in it, and I just find it really helps to hydrate as well as soothe my skin.
And next then for mum, I'm just going to be popping on some of the Bobbi Brown eye cream. This is a hydrating eye cream. I'm just going to be taking a small little amount on my ring finger and patting that under her eyes. And then I'm popping that not onto mum's eyelid, I'm just popping it right under her eye, and that will absorb upwards then. All of these products I'm using today are mum's favourite products. These are products she uses on a daily basis and which are really, really nice for her sort of age group, her sort of skin type.
It's so cooling when you pop that on under the eye.
It feels gorgeous,
especially
on
first
the
thing in the morning.
I think I'll have to get some of this.
It's amazing.
Never too young to start caring for the skin.
Definitely.
Okay, so next I'm going to be priming mum's eye, and I'm going to be using one of my favourites, which is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And as usual, what I usually do myself, I'm just taking it on a domed fluffy brush and I'm just packing that all over her lid. First, I'm going to be taking the Longwear Cream Shadow in Bittersweet, and I'm just going to be popping this all over mum's lid. So to start, I'm just going to be holding mum's eyebrow up high, just so I can really get into her lid. I'm not being too careful with where I place the product, as we are going to be blending this and smudging it out. So don't worry if it goes a little bit all over the place, because that can be tidied up later on. I'm then taking a sort of like a domed, this is a nose sort of contour brush, this is from Crown Brush, and I'm taking that and I'm just using it to buff out the edges to give it a really soft, smudgy look. Now just to sort of soften up them edges even more, I'm just taking the shade Taupe from Bobbi Brown, and I'm just taking that on a MAC 217 brush. I'm only taking a tiny bit of product, and I'm just lightly angling the brush upwards, lifting mum's brow and buffing that in. I'm then taking just a clean blending brush, this is quite a stiff one, and I'm just buffing away then any harsh lines. Okay, next then I'm taking again a shade from Bobbi Brown, and it's called Cement, and I'm just going to be taking that on my ring finger and just getting mum to close her eyes for me. I'm again going to be lifting up her lid and just packing that over the lid area. I'm next then taking the shade Rich Brown. This isn't actually an eyeshadow quad, this is just one me and Mum made up ourselves. And again, I'm lifting up and I'm just focusing this more on the outer V part of Mum's eye. And I'm just sort of patting it on and sort of gently bringing it in. And then just taking a little bit more of the shimmer shade and I'm just popping that right into the inner corner of Mum's eye just to make sure it's all blended nicely in there. So next then I'm just taking the Bobbi Brown gel liner in Caviar Ink. This is sort of a slightly off, is it like an off black?
It's an off black, yeah, because for some reason the black ink tends to look blue on my eye. So I prefer the Caviar ink. I was advised that because of I maybe have a cool tone to my skin, that it's bringing the blue out in the jet black. So I find this actually looks blacker on me.
Stunning. So I'm just taking this on a crown brush. This is the Pro Pointed Blender. It's not actually too small or anything, because I don't want a sort of precise line. I just want to roughly line Mum's eye. So again, I'm lifting up her eye and I'm just very lightly lining her lips. And then again, I'm just taking that dome brush and I'm just going to buff along the lash line. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking some of the this is the Bobbi Brown again, the Bobbi Brown Corrector. This is in the shade Light to Medium Peach. And I'm just going to be taking that on a concealer brush and popping it under Mum's eyes. Oh, this is one of your favourite products since you've been working at Bobbi Brown, Mum, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I love the corrector and concealer process. It's something that's new to me, even though I've worked with various other brands. It's the first time I've actually come across a corrector, which is amazing because it sort of cancels out the darkness before your concealer goes on top.
Going to go back in with a little bit more moisturiser now, not too much, just sort of like half a pump full, and just go back over Mum's face. And then next I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown Confidence Stick. It blurs out any sort of fine lines, any little wrinkles you may have, or Mum has quite like open pores. It works well for all things like that.
It's really good on texture, so it'll help to, as you said, so it'll sort of retexturize the skin. It's also really good for if you get fine lines around the lip area.
Right.
Luckily I haven't got those at the moment, but people who do have quite deep fine lines, it's really good for replumping.
So as you saw, I just sort of drew a few lines over Mum's face and I'm just lightly blending that into the skin. So next for foundation, I'm going to be using one of mine, well, this is both of our favourites. It's been our favourites for absolute years. You've seen it in my videos before. It's the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation. This is the 2-in-1 with the concealer as well. Today I'm using it in number 9 neutral for Mum, because she does have, as you can see, she has got a bit of fake tan on. So I'm just going to start by taking this on the little applicator thing and I'm just going to be blobbing it all over her face. As you can see, I've sort of just blobbed that, not too carefully, all over Mum's face. And I'm going to start by blending it in with the Bobbi Brown this is the full coverage face brush. And I'm just going to lightly start blending this into Mum's face in a sort of like a buffing technique. I've sort of worked that into the skin, sort of distributed it evenly over Mum's face. I'm then taking a damp beauty blender. This is the one from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to really press that into the skin to work it in to give her a really flawless finish. Now I know for Mum you like a lot of coverage, so I'm going to go in again with the bottle and just blob a little bit more foundation on the areas I know Mum will want full coverage. But I mean, for some people this would be enough. So So next for concealer, I'm using one of my favourite products today, and this is the Eye Eraser Concealer by Maybelline, and it is an instant anti-age concealer, so it's perfect for obviously the ladies out there who are a little bit older like mum.
Be careful what you say.
And who want to look after their skin. There, you have to look after mum. So I'm just popping this under mum's eye in a sort of triangle area. Taking my favourite blender brush that I use to blend my concealer. This is one again from Crown Brush. I pick these up when I go to eye mats, and this is the pointed blender brush, and I just like to just slightly pack under the eye. So next, to set under mum's eye, I am using, again, my favourite powder, and this is the RCMA No Colour Powder. Again, like I said before, I'm not going too heavy on the powder with mum because we don't want it to set into any sort of fine line she has got around her eyes. Not that she's got many, because, well, let's just hope I have mum's genes. So I'm just taking a bit of that onto my beauty blender. I'm going to dip the end into the powder, and then I'm just going to get mum to look up for me. And I'm going to very, very gently press this under mum's eye. And then I'm just going to set around mum's nose area because mum has got oily skin. So I want to just set around there so it doesn't move throughout the day. And mum does like to wipe around her face with a beauty blender throughout the day, even though I tell her not to. So I'm setting this in place. Okay, so next I'm going to set the rest of mum's face. I'm not going too heavy with powder again. As I said, I don't want it to be a really heavy powdered look because we don't want it setting into any lines or wrinkles mum might have. So I'm just going to take a large fluffy brush and the same RCMA powder, but a very, very light dusting. Next, now I'm going to start filling in mum's brows, and to do this I'm using my favourite, well it's now your favourite as well,
I love it.
the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in brunette. So I'm going to start by brushing mum's brow hairs up. We've been going for HD brow treatment for the last sort of like, well, probably 18 months now, mum.
I would say, yeah.
And oh my god, the difference in your brows are amazing. So I'm going to be taking this brush and I'm just going to be really lightly and really quickly doing very, very fine hair strokes to fill in her brows and create the shape we want. Next for bronzer, I'm going to be using one of my favourites now, which is the MAC Give Me Some bronzer. From the sort of like, turn your head mum, from sort of the end of mum's hair, bringing it into sort of like just under her nose area. And again now, to sort of line under mum's eye, I'm going to be taking again the same Bobbi Brown cream shadow stick. And I'm just going to be getting mum to look up for me, and I'm just running this right under her lash line. And then I'm taking again the same sort of domed brush that we used earlier to blend it out, and I'm using that to blend this out. Then again, I'm taking that domed sort of brush again with the same cement shimmer, and I just, because I want there to be a little pop of sparkle in sort of like the middle of mum's eye, so I'm just taking a little bit on the brush, going to get mum to look up for me, and I'm just packing it on right here. Next, to highlight in mum's tear duct and on her brow bone, I'm taking the Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Duo. This is one of mine and mum's absolute favourites. It is a little bit pricey, but it is so worth the money. It is absolutely stunning.
Real treat product.
It is.
So worth it.
So to sort of tie in the eye, for the tear duct, I'm taking this sort of darker shade here. It's sort of like a very light bronzy gold shade. So I'm just taking it on a small little fluffy brush. I'm going to get Mum to close her eyes for me, and I'm just going to circle that into the inner tear duct of Mum's eyes. And then for her brow bone, I'm taking the lighter shade. This is more of a candlelight sort of like white goldy sort of a shimmer. And I'm just again on that same fluffy brush and taking it along her brow bone. Next I'm taking just my usual small, this is like a highlighter brush. This is from the Royal and Langnickel brush collection. I had this again in iMat. So I'm going to get Mum to look up for me, and I'm just going to buff off any of that powder that's sort of left on her skin. And I'm just bringing it around the nose just to take off any oil that has sort of built up as we've been doing the rest of her face. Again, now to open up Mum's eye even more, keep the look really youthful, really glowing, I'm going to be using the, excuse the state of mind, the Nude Rimmel Scandaleyes eyeliner. Today I want to use something quite sort of berry tone, quite subtle, so I'm going to be using Rocketeur by Benefit. So I'm taking that on sort of like a large fluffy brush, again from Crown Brush. I'm going to be picking up more of these because mine is falling apart. So I'm just taking that on my brush, not too much product, dusting it off slightly, and if Mum smiles for me, and then just finding Mum's apples of her cheek and buffing it outwards. So on a normal day, Mum, how do you sort of like tell everyone how you sort of like to wear your makeup? Because you like it quite full. What sort of products do you normally wear?
I like, obviously as I work for Bobbi Brown, so I use their products on a daily basis. So my favourite foundation at the moment is the Long Wear.
Stunning.
It's, you know, for me, it's a buildable full coverage.
Gosh.
It covers my redness, which, you know, is a big concern of mine. Also, I am slightly oily, but if I set it with our loose, translucent loose powder, it just sets it for me and lasts all day. Another real favourite of mine is a lovely Christmas surprise I had of Sophie, and it's the Morphe eye palette.
We love that.
I have always wanted. It's the tones that I've got. It's the orangey.
She's got the 35-0 palette like me. The what's it called? Glow, something glow.
I can't remember the name, but I must say it is my absolute fave for days I'm not working, for nights out. Gotta say a favourite of mine, and I think through me it's been a favourite of Sophie's, is our the Max Factor.
Oh yes, I'm always using that.
The False Lash Effect mascara. As I say, I've got quite strange eyelashes. They don't curl, they're very straight. When I actually do curl them, the only mascara that does keep them in place is that Max Factor. And I've used it for years.
We've used it for years, haven't we? Absolutely.
Through me, you've used it for years.
I know. So as you've seen now, I've just sort of gone over Mum's brows with a bit of brow powder. I've used on Mum another one of my favourites, my Brow Bar To Go by Gerard Cosmetics. And I just set that in place with a little bit of Rimmel eye gel. So now, just to sort of get Mum's lips ready, because we'll be doing lipstick in a bit, I'm just using the Bobbi Brown Extra Lip Tint. So I'm just going to be popping on a light layer of that just to get Mum's lips all ready for when we put some lipstick on. Okay, so now we've done blusher and everything. I just want to finish off Mum's face with a little bit more of highlighter. So again, I'm going to be using the Tom Ford, and I'm going to be mixing the two of these shades together. I just sort of rub my brush between the two of them. And then I'm going to get Mum to turn her head that way, and I'm just going to hit the top of Mum's cheekbone by here. Bring it slightly above her brow. So you can see that glow coming on there. Okay, so if you've watched my videos before, you'll know I love a nose highlight and a Cupid's bow highlight. So to do that, I'm going to be using the lighter shade in the Tom Ford palette. I I won't tell you Mum's age, but she certainly doesn't look it. Mum has always looked after her skin, haven't you, Mum? And you've always taught me to. What are your sort of like number one skincare sort of like do's and don'ts for people like who want to keep their skin young and youthful like yours?
Like I've always said to you, keep your face out of the sun. That's all. That's my real must-have. I've never ever, even when I was young, sunned my face. I would always put a fake tan on my face and then a block of at least 50. And when I was young, I started off on Clinique's products. I've worked for Clinique for a number of years, so I started off on the natural three-step, which I got you into very early. That's a really good skincare to start off with.
Stunning.
I mean, whatever you use, I would say, as long as you're using something, you're cleansing, you're toning, you're moisturising.
Definitely. It's so important.
I mean, it's so important. Really, really
look after your skin.
One face you get.
Exactly.
And you know, use what you can afford. Always take your makeup off before bed. Never go to bed with your makeup on. Avoid the obligatory facial wipes. That is one thing.
Oh my god. I like
to me is a no-no.
And when people put baby wipes, girls, don't put baby wipes on your face. Look down for me, Mum. I'm doing mascara as you talk.
They will just strip your skin. They'll take all the natural oils out of your skin because there's a lot of alcohol in these wipes. So I know you think it's a quick and easy step, but in the long run you're doing more harm than good. So
Mum loves a lash. Some mums won't want one, but Mum loves a lash. So today I'm using the Prima lash in the style DW. We haven't used these on Mum before, but I think they're going to be a little match made in heaven for Mum. She likes a sort of demi-wispy style lash normally, something very light, something very fluffy. So we're going to see how we get on with these ones. Okay, now for lipstick. Again, we're keeping it in that sort of Victoria Beckham theme. And I am using MAC's Boldly Bare Lip Liner with MAC's Twig lipstick. It's sort of like a browny, pinky nude, like that classic shade Victoria Beckham wears. It's really classy, nothing too heavy. If like you don't want anything too in your face, but it's really chic at the same time. And now I'm just going to pop some mascara now over Mum's lashes and the false lashes just to blend them all in together. So if you look down for me,